Woo. Joe Angel, we're together again, dude.
We are together again.
When was the last time we actually?
The last time we actually recorded together?
It was the first time.
Yeah, it was the very first one. That's a we're. This is episode 19.
Is it 19?
It's been 19.
It's been
19.
19, dude. That's wild. Okay, well, I mean, dude, this is like a full. This is like a full season of anime, right? Like,
but we're getting there.
A full, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, you thought One Piece had a bunch of
giving them a run for their money.
Okay. Anything else we need to know?
All
Let's
right,
see here. You're good here.
Good right here.
We're technically good to go. There was something I may have wanted to tell you about something. No, I think we're good.
You're good.
I think we are ready to go whenever you're ready to go.
All right.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Joey. Like, we always record not seeing each other.
Yeah, so it's a whole different.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been. Now I don't know how to do this because I'm gonna close my eyes.
But close eyes. Just
okay. Go.
Close your eyes. Say you're in the closet.
I'm stuck in a closet.
I'm stuck in the closet.
All right. Go.
All right. Ready. 3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hang on, I think I got something for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to our Christmas episode of this podcast. It's the Anime Me podcast, and it's me, Joe Angel, with my co-host, Salvador.
What's up?
And we are once again together again.
Together again, like literally
in the same room together.
Joe Angel, you traveled through the candy cane forest.
I traveled through the candy cane forest. The whole sequence in Elf.
That's how.
That's how
you got here.
That's how I got here.
We've been recording remotely. Yeah, you're in a different city. I'm in a different city, and we're recording. And here we are together. And now we don't know how to do this.
Now we don't know.
I don't know where to put my eyes, Joe Angel. I don't know where to put. I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna look away from you and pretend you're somewhere else.
I'll close my eyes. Turn them off. All right, guys. Well, since it is Christmas, and since we talked about in the last episode, a lot of animes that do have Christmas episodes tend to be late in the game. But we are doing something special today.
Christmas special, bro.
A Christmas special, an actual Christmas special.
Literally a Christmas. When you had messaged me what we were gonna watch, you told me what we were gonna watch, and it said something Christmas special, and I go, is this like our Christmas special, and we're just gonna watch whatever, and it's just gonna be a Christmas special? No, this is literally a Christmas special. I was so confused.
Literally a Christmas special,
Also, we are watching it live, so we just watched it, and now we're talking about it. Not even like 5 minutes afterward. We're like
fresh off the bat.
Yeah, fresh off the bat, and I don't know what we just watched. I kind of do, and I kind of don't.
Well, what we just watched, I'm pretty sure all our listeners know. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, if you watch Dragon Ball Super, GT, any other Dragon Ball franchise, what we just watched was the Dragon Ball Z Abridged Christmas special, Plan to Eradicate Christmas.
The full title. I don't know. Do we need... Can I try to summarize this thing?
You want to try to summarize it? It's fresh.
It's
the
really
quickest
fresh.
way you can summarize it.
I mean, this is happening live in front of you, Joe Angel.
I'm watching the kinks working in right now.
You can see sparks. You can actually see the sparks coming. Now that you're here, you can see the sparks coming out of my eyes. Okay, so this is an abridged version. I know a little bit about this. Whenever you had sent it to me, DBZA, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And then we went to looking for it, and we you had me look it up on YouTube. I was like, Joe Angel, if this isn't 240p,
240p,
is this in 480?
You gotta watch 6 videos that's 2 minutes long piece.
I was like, it's gonna be solo res, but yeah. So okay, let's see. It's Dragon Ball Z, but somebody else has recorded over it, and so I guess they've taken an episode, which I've never seen any of this before, and they've overdubbed a Christmas story over this. So it's like Goku and Vegeta, all our favorite characters. Trunks is there, and then Frieza shows up, and there is Christmas puns all over the world.
So many Christmas puns.
So many Christmas puns. And then pretty much they save Christmas. I mean, that's it. Santa Claus? They killed Santa Claus. That's what happens. I think that's what it is. I mean, I think that's the synopsis, I guess. And like you're saying, I think everybody knows what the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, pretty much 90% you're gonna know what the Abridged is.
Okay, so I'm a little confused by this because I've seen like dubbings. I've seen like Dragon Ball Z where they've taken like just scenes and snippets and stuff, and somebody else has dubbed their voice over the top of it. But this is like a whole thing. The Abridged thing is what? Like, is it at the very beginning they had a disclaimer. They were like, hey, this isn't like really.
Yeah, this is a parody. All the rights belong to Shueisha Funimation, Toei Animation. I can't tell you. They get the whole disclaimer that they don't own the rights at all.
Yeah, it's somebody who's just like guerrilla style, kind of straight up hijacking it, and putting their own voices over the top of this.
Think of like a way to put this is go back to our very first pilot episode.
Dude, you did this. You did this on purpose, Joe Angel. Yeah, because we
think of that. How that was a higher quality.
Yeah.
This is like
low.
This is that, but YouTuber.
Okay.
Like these are guys who aren't a part of an actual animation like production, like big company. These are 3 guys who came together and wanted to just have fun, do a parody of Dragon Ball Z, and this has actually gone. They have actually covered 3 seasons worth.
Wow.
And I think, let me see, 7 other movies, I think.
Gosh, dude.
So what we just watched was actually a movie.
Okay.
A non-canon.
Okay.
So all the movies, like I said, before Super, all the movies before Super came out are non-canon to the storyline.
Okay.
So my best guess watching it is somewhere between the Cell Saga. Because Gohan's older and he's Super Saiyan. And Vegeta Super Saiyan, we got Future Trunks there.
Yeah, Future Trunks.
So this is in that time frame, but it's not actually part of the canon story.
I wrote down some characters and I was like, I don't know, because this is off of, you say Super or GT.
This is before Super.
So this is before Super, but this has got to be like, this is also, I'm confused by some of the Dragon Ball Z stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Dragon Ball like Z, then there's Dragon Ball GT. And then there's Dragon Ball Super.
So Super is the canonical continuation of the Dragon Ball Z series.
Okay. And then
GT was kind of like an alternate universe. But it was still by the studio, but it's an alternate universe taken after what happened at the end of the Buu Saga. So everything Super and GT happened at the end of the Buu Saga, but kind of 2 separations. But Super is more canon to the actual storyline.
I got a silly question and also serious question at the same time. GT, is that gifted and talented? What does that stand for? What is GT? What is GT? But think about it. Dragon Ball Z, gifted and talented. What is GT? What is that? Like,
I never really looked it up. I remember watching it. I watched GT. I know a lot of people in the fandom hate it, but I kind of liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was,
because it kind of went weird with their storylines. Super Saiyan 4 was pretty awesome though. That was a cool concept.
Okay.
Like that should have been.
I don't think I've watched. I maybe have seen some GT, but like where would I have caught it? Because it's not. It
actually showed on Toonami and like Adult Swim and stuff.
Okay,
but like it just wasn't canon. Because at the time I think Akira Toriyama stopped
Yeah,
like,
Toriyama's doing
doing some other stuff,
and somebody else. I mean,
it was more like a studio type thing, the continuation.
Because I thought he would own it, and so how would he just let somebody else just do a thing, or did he give the rights to somebody to kind of do it?
I think he just like gave the okay. It's one of those weird things. So like in America, when it comes to copyrights and stuff like that, it's kind of different in Japan how the copyright and owning works. Because like Tenchi Muyo, heard Tenchi Muyo. For those who have heard Tenchi Muyo, there's so many different like ghosts have so many different titles. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the title changes happen because it got switched to a different company. Mm-hmm. Like as far as production wise and stuff, so he took the characters and everything with them, but since it was in a different company, he had to change the actual title of it. So it's still like he could keep Tenchi Muyo part, but it had to be the other like subtitles along with it.
Yeah. By the way, a nice trick though. Like so, we do ghost stories. And as our first one, we watch ghost stories like together. You watch me watch ghost stories, and I'm like confused by the whole thing. And then we, hot off the presses like we did today, we do the podcast afterward, only to find out that the whole ghost stories thing was dubbed. Yeah. This time going into it, I could already tell that it's dubbed, so there's no okie doke. But it's a full circle though, Joe Angel. First episode of the podcast is a dubbed version of an anime, and this is a dubbed version. By the way, the episode's only 15 minutes long.
It is. Excellent. It's super short compared to the actual movie.
Okay, I was gonna say that's the shortest movie ever.
But yeah, going through the story if you haven't seen it. For those who haven't seen it, we open up on a very, very eerie narration.
Oh yeah,
there's a orb planet looking thing that forms in front of the Earth. There's this mysterious smoke coming in, and we get a creepy narration talking about naughtiness and everything. And then we get the title, Plan to Eradicate Christmas.
I wrote down concentrated naughtiness.
Concentrated naughtiness.
Where did they come up with this? You've seen the movie?
I've seen the actual movie.
Okay. Yeah. So you could tell the stuff that's kind of happened and like the way they've kind of like cut it all together.
Yeah. The way they spliced it and cut it and stuff.
Because I got some questions about that.
Yeah. And then we get Goku and Gohan popping up into Bulma's laboratory, and it's Christmas time. And Goku's super happy, super excited. He loves Christmas. We're getting the fact that Goku's all about Christmas.
This is more Christmas than Christmas. Like, you know, I've been talking to somebody. You watch a Christmas movie, and people always argue, is that a real Christmas movie? Is this a real, like, is Die Hard a real Christmas movie? They have a Christmas scene in there. You know, what constitutes a Christmas This movie? Is the most Christmas special. Like, they say Christmas in this episode, or this little short, whole from
they're making Christmas puns left and right.
Christmas puns, so many Christmas. I thought, oh no, that's gonna be the last one, and nope,
kept going.
They could have called it Christmas, you know, DBZA Christmas pun special, the Christmas pun special. Honestly,
but we get that, and then Bulma turns around and says, "Hey, stuff's going on. People in the city are like passing out and everything." And then we get introduced into our characters: Piccolo, Gohan, Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta walks in. And this is where you could tell this is a dub by the language.
Oh, the language, yes. You know, that's funny because at the beginning of it, Vegeta shows up and he says something, but they bleep it. Yeah. And then later on, it hits a hard F-bomb.
Super hard.
Super hard. It's hard. I mean, and you know who delivers it, Vegeta does. But yeah, I was like, well, maybe they were just bleeping it for effect, or I mean, I guess they could technically not. They don't have to bleep any of this stuff. They're just doing.
I think they do. So I think it comes down to YouTube stuff. Like they could have like, think of it like ratings. Like a PG-13 movie, I think can have one F-bomb in there. So they could like, I think it's kind of the same thing. They could have like one curse word, but everything else has to be like bleep and stuff like that.
And this lives on YouTube. Yeah, like this is where it is.
This is where it's at. This is home.
I couldn't go find it anywhere else. No, okay. All right.
And then we get Vegeta talking about the history of Christmas on planet Vegeta.
Oh my gosh. I wrote it down. The meaning of Christmas is killing Santa.
Killing Santa. That's what it is.
That's what I mean, I don't not agree.
And then they figure out there's robots coming in from the sky, so they go to where one of the robots is, and they're like, all right, we need to destroy it. Who wants it? Vegeta goes in for the kill.
No questions.
No
They don't even
question.
stop. They're like, who's gonna kill this thing?
Vegeta runs back. I got it, but can't deliver. There's a force field, and then we get our first Cold Stone villain, Frieza.
Yes, dude. So okay, when they start introducing these guys, and they're all freaked out. Goku sees them, was like, "Oh no, Frieza's here," and then there were other people showing up, and they did this is where I guess the GT, right? Like some of these characters are only GT. Like,
so all the characters that showed up besides Frieza are from the movies, the non-canon movies.
So Cooler.
So Cooler's from Cooler's Revenge, Return of Cooler. He's Frieza's brother.
Okay, and then he
non-canon.
exists. Non-canon.
Yeah, he was in the movies.
Okay.
And then we have
who's Dark Goku?
Dark Goku? That's Turles. So Turles is from the movie Tree of Might.
Goku makes a joke because he's like, "Oh, Frieza. Oh no, Cooler."
Which is because there's a thing about that. Real quick. So, because they explained it why Turles looks so much like Goku.
Okay.
He's not related. So there's this thing in the Saiyan hierarchy where the lower class all kind of have similar features. So that's why Turles looks so much like Goku, because they were both lower class Saiyans. Oh. So they kind of had the same features and stuff like that.
You could tell that neither one of them could afford a haircut.
Yeah.
They have the same hairdo.
The same bedhead.
Everybody's got the Edgar, bro. I mean, he's got the Edgar. That's the only haircut you can afford. You go to the same barber.
Yeah. And then we have the other one, Lord Slug, who's from the movie Lord Slug.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to know, unless you watch the movies, you won't know who any of these characters are.
I mean, the guys who like did this whole Abridged thing, they must know. I mean, you can tell they know their Dragon Ball Z, like stuff. Hardcore. They know the stuff because they're they make reference to stuff. They even though they're making bunches of jokes, you can tell like they're making jokes on. They're almost like exaggerating each character. You know, like you have to know Vegeta to know, you know, his character and to only like make it bigger. You know, like they're expanding on
exaggerated.
that. Goku's a silly dude and he's like dumb kind of sometimes. And so he makes that dumb joke about you're dark me, you know, like, you know, like they're playing.
The line he delivers, he's like, don't you remember me? Of course I do. Every time I look in the mirror.
That was They know their Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they know their stuff.
More so than I do. I tell you.
But yeah, so we get that, and then the fight starts breaking out.
Oh, dude, the fight, because they put the fight to like Christmas fight music. It's like I don't know what was actually playing, but like it was Christmas music, but it was like hardcore. Yeah, I was taken by surprise on it. That was freaking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, so we get the fight scenes. They're going at it. Then we figured out that they're not real because they're punching through them and stuff. But then they turn into like this black smoke and reform themselves, kind of like the T-1000. That was so. Is this Terminator we're watching right now? We don't know. But then they like get to the point where they're about to be beaten, and then Bulma comes in with some, what Goku stated, magical baby blood.
Oh, that's right.
Because she found out that the stuff was concentrated naughtiness. That was knocking everybody out and stuff. So she took some of baby Trunks' blood, synthesized it to make good, I guess, smoke. And
with the capsules, throws it in the robot that's spewing this smoke.
And so she goes to save the rest of the world, but I don't know if you caught the last line she said. She's like, I'm gonna go clear everything else up and then visit some African warlord.
Oh, I didn't hear that part of it. Dude, okay, how far off, like so far from the movie to this, does this, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there an actual scene where Bulma flies in and like saves them a little bit? Yeah. Like that actually happens. Right? Yeah. So it's not too far off.
The only thing far off so far is it's not Christmas.
Well, of course.
This movie's not about Christmas.
No, I couldn't imagine that it is. I mean, I get, you know, like here in the States, here in America, we have like if you're watching like a comedy show, one of your favorite shows, I'll just say Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They have a Christmas special. Like they'll have, or like Friends, or like
everybody's got a Christmas special.
Everybody's got a Christmas special. But like, do animes have Christmas specials?
They'll have Christmas episodes,
right? Like, are there? Because like I think maybe you've told me like there'll be like. There's like filler episodes where they have like beach scenes or
sometimes like because they'll go through the seasons and stuff in anime and manga, and of course they do celebrate Christmas in Japan. So when that time frame comes, they're like, all right, well, our timeline in this world, it's Christmas now, so we're gonna make the background and stuff, probably some situations around Christmas and stuff like that. And so it does happen, but as far as this movie goes, it's not about Christmas.
Well, I would think not. But there is a character that looks like what I wrote down, Blue Santa, or as what I'm done, Popo Jitsu.
Popo Jitsu. Yeah. So
who is that?
Yeah. So we get.
Is that a new bad guy in the actual movie?
So yeah, in the movie, that's like the guy pulling the strings. Okay. That's the Palpatine.
Okay, so it works. Like they don't deviate from too much from that. They don't
deviate too much from the actual source, which we'll get into later. But so we get that. Bulma comes in, helps him out. They destroy the smoke, and then go on saying like, "Well, this is more like a symptom than the cause." And so Goku asks King Kai, "Hey, do you know what's going on?" King Kai is like, "Oh yeah, there's this evil orb that popped out, but." Since it's Christmas, I was waiting until tomorrow to tell you about it.
And he goes, it's not Christmas. And then they had this argument. It's not Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. And he goes, he's in a different time zone.
He's like, it's Christmas over here.
Which does make sense. He is in a different time zone. He lives on that little tiny like planet.
So they figure out where it's at. They go and they meet the evil Santa Claus.
Hey, by the way, real quick before we keep going, this looks really good. Like, I'm watching and I'm going, oh, man, like, they've taken this stuff, and it's pretty high resolution on YouTube. We're not losing, it's not 240p, okay? It's
not grainy.
It's not grainy. It looks legit. But I'm like, as a movie goes, and as it not being, canon, like, they do a great job. Like, I don't feel like it's a ripoff. Like I was sitting here kind of questioning, like, how much of Dragon Ball Z did I miss? Because I don't know. I don't know any of these characters. Who are these people? And but it looks that good. That's just kind of a testament to the quality of, I guess, GT or the movies that are non-canon or something like that. So it looks pretty good. Makes me want to go and watch these. Yeah. Is it worth a watch real quick before we go on? Yeah, you hesitated. No, you hesitated way too long.
So here's the thing. So we'll get into it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Because I got facts about that.
Okay, facts.
But so we get there, we find out Santa's the actual evil, and Goku's just devastated because Santa's supposed to be good and he's evil, and he can't believe that this is happening right now.
So is is he the one? No, I think maybe Gohan who delivers the longest gasp ever.
That was Goku. Because Goku? We meet Santa Claus and he's like, "Oh wait, you're Santa," and Goku's just like super longest gasp into Santa.
Yeah. Oh man,
we get that, and then Santa starts to listen off everybody on the naughty list. Piccolo, you're naughty because you try to take over the world. Mm-hmm. Piccolo's being like sins of the father much because the old Piccolo used to be evil until he spit up current Piccolo, who's not as evil.
Yeah, and lives. Well, he has the voices in his head.
Okay, so the voices in his head. So going from Dragon Ball Z, it has to deal with what happened on Namek and what happened during Cell Saga. What happened on Namek when Piccolo arrived, he found the Namekian Nail, who they fused together. Mm-hmm. So in the DBZA version, they did it to where Nail lived in his head, like his voice. Since he absorbed him to get more powerful. Uh-huh. So Nail lives in his head. So naturally, what they thought was have Nail stuck in his head because he's still there.
Okay, I think I know that somehow.
Yeah. And then later on in Cell Saga, Piccolo absorbed Kami, who was the guardian of Earth, mm-hmm. Who was his counterpart from King Piccolo, and now Kami lives inside Piccolo with Nail. So
there's a Joker. There's a Joker earlier, and then he's like the son of God, and he goes, "Are you the son of God? Technically, I don't know, because he is son of a god."
Yeah, because Kami means God in Japanese.
And he goes, well, does that make me the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
He's like, let's not get into this.
Yeah, and so but so he does that. He goes to Trunks and tells Trunks, "You're on my list because you messed up the time continuum from his going back and forth between time." And Trunks is just like, "You don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, and they flash back.
Yeah, they did a whole thing, which is pretty cool, where they flash back to the old '90s Dragon Ball Z style.
Yeah, they show him like,
and then he goes to Vegeta, and he's just like, "Vegeta, there's not enough time in a day to list all the things you've done." Vegeta just standing there smiling and proud. But Santa goes, "Well, the main thing we'll start with is you putting a hole in my sleigh." And earlier, Vegeta, when he was reminiscing, was talking about he would go on his porch during Christmas, or what they would call it, Frieza Day.
Frieza Day, yeah.
And he was shooting into the sky holding the hip Santa.
Yeah, he's trying to kill Santa.
Yeah.
And he's like,
so Vegeta's happy he hit him. And then he goes to Goku. He's like, "In you put everybody in jeopardy with your ceaseless need for battle and fighting."
Yeah.
And Goku's just like, "What do you mean? I never put anybody." And then on the bottom they put up the little Crunchyroll banner for Dragon Ball Super for the tournament, which that tournament was because of Goku wanting to fight the strongest fighter, some other universe, but put his own universe in jeopardy, because if they were to lose, that universe would have been erased.
Yeah, brilliant. It's a great little joke. It's a great little, if you didn't know that part of it, that little part you would thought it was just an ad.
Yeah, these guys are so good. Going through, they know their stuff. They know about Dragon Ball, and they make all the call outs that every fan has about this show. Even though Dragon Ball is super loved and everybody likes it, there's still those things we call out, like Goku being a bad dad. Yeah.
And Piccolo being the real dad.
Piccolo's being Gohan's real dad. That gets called out and while they're doing this. But then he goes, "Gohan, it's Gohan. You're good. You're okay. You get a present.
You're borderline on the good list."
He's like, "You're on the good list. Here's a present. His present is a book, and it's Moby Dick in French."
Yeah, and he's excited about it. He's like, "Oh, this is kind of awesome."
But then we start fighting. Vegeta gets a killing blow on Santa, of course. But it turns out to be a ghost version of Santa, because Santa evolves into Super Santa.
And he comes back even, I think he's red, isn't he?
Yeah, he comes back red with green.
And is that real too?
Yeah.
So it just works out that it almost makes sense as a Christmas special.
Yeah. Like I say, when they picked this movie to make it as a Christmas show, it worked so well.
It really does, because he comes back. He's in his final form now, but he looks like a robot Santa. That's brilliant.
And then we get our second fight scene. Everybody's getting obliterated.
More Christmas music.
Puns. Even
Christmas music too.
Christmas music,
rock and roll
Christmas puns.
Christmas puns.
Piccolo claws out "I'm tired of these Christmas puns." And after he says that line, they're still dropping Christmas puns.
Yeah. They're like, "This is the last one."
This is the last one. It was not the last one.
My favorite one. I wrote down. "Oh no, my friends are getting pummeled." They're really stretching, but some of these are good.
Some of them were real good. Yeah. And then we get Goku figuring out, "Oh hey, I know how to beat Santa," and he starts. Christmas isn't about the presents. It's not about the merriment. It's not about all this other materialistic stuff. And he tells Santa, "It's not even about you. It's about friends. It's about family. It's about..."
And then everybody else starts jumping in.
Yeah. And then Vegeta comes in with the last one. "It's about killing Santa Claus."
Piccolo and Gohan, all of them jump in. They're like, it's about, it's about family. It's about,
I figured
sugared plums.
If Vin Diesel was there, he would have been off.
Yeah, he could have put it in. It was about family. And about killing Santa.
Yeah. And so they kill Santa, and then we get popped back in to Goku's house, and I don't know if you recognize, it was Krillin and Chi-Chi that were in the house.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
this part. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
And so Krillin's there. He's like, "Oh hey, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Trunks." Let's say really.
Yeah.
He's like, "What happened?" And Chi-Chi asks him where they were. Gohan says, "Oh, we went to see Santa." Vegeta goes, "Yeah, we killed them." And then everybody's just like, Krillin's just like, oh, I guess you have to be there or whatever.
Yeah.
They're talking about Christmas, and then Piccolo's the only like common sense to be like, hey, a lot of people probably died because of that smoke. Should we do something about it?
Yeah, they actually thought about it.
Yeah, Goku's just like, we can wait till tomorrow. It's Christmas. We can do that tomorrow.
Dude, like they come back into that little like those little capsule houses, those little circles. All you see are spherical houses. All you see is their outlines, their silhouettes of them. And I'm like, as I'm watching this show, I'm thinking, okay, they've done an amazing job with them like overdubbing their mouths.
Yeah.
And also like getting it to overdub so that they can write this story to line up. I don't know how they did this, but then I started looking, I was like, sometimes you can tell. I think maybe they may have redrawn some mouths. Maybe, do you know this? Okay. Yeah. And then also at the very end too, like that little section where you only see their silhouettes, that looks like that's just kind of photoshopped in there, right?
Yeah.
Like those to get it to fit, to get it to wrap it up. Okay, that all makes sense. That makes sense for them to like get this to work. They got to redraw some stuff.
Yeah, they had to redraw some mouth flaps. They added some stuff.
I think
that whole end scene they added. Like,
with the Christmas present, right?
Yeah, the Christmas present they added that in. Like,
you see the Christmas present like show up in Gohan's hands.
Yeah, there's certain stuff to get the reactions they needed. Yeah, the facial expressions they'll like redraw and reanimate. Add stuff in and stuff like that.
That's amazing, dude.
And
like,
then,
that's amazing. Like, because I'm thinking like, well, how are you gonna? If I were to try to do this myself and having to cut all the scenes and having to like redub over all the voices and having to like figure this all out so that the story makes sense, it would be so hard to just try to get this to line up and to do it cleanly in 15 minutes. It feels wrapped up. Like I feel like I watched the thing from the beginning to the end. And it's all cohesive. It all makes sense. The dialogue all makes sense. It's over the top and ridiculous. But, I mean, these guys figured it out.
Yeah, they did so well. Like,
that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that they've done.
Start to finish, a very cohesive story. Like, you got the whole thing.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to start saying it. I don't know how I'm going to work it into a sentence, but I'm going to have to figure out I'm going to have to try to figure out how to work in Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, yeah.
Santa is now Feliz Navidad. And they were like, that's the last part.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last Christmas part.
But we get our credits, and we get the outro, and then we get the memoriam to...
Yeah, who is Hiromi Suru?
So Hiromi Suru was the original voice actor for Bulma.
Really?
In the Japanese dub. From the time it started till her death. Like, she voiced Bulma. For, I think it was for 31 years.
Okay.
She has her career as Bulma.
I don't know how to ask this without sounding disrespectful. But did she die of old age?
So she was 57 when she died.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was I think like something to do. It was like a health issue that she had.
Okay, because you sent me this thing. Like the rest of the world, the only way we communicate now is through like Instagram, TikTok memes. Yeah. That's all. We're not saying anything. We're just. And you sent me this one where, who was it? It's the voice actor for Luffy from One Piece.
Yeah. The Japanese voice actor.
There's so many episodes that this person that voices Luffy is probably gonna have to like retire or die.
Yeah,
and the show will still be going.
Yeah, She like talked about like, since we haven't seen an ending for One Piece,
and it's nowhere in sight.
Yeah, she talked about like they might have to recast me because I probably won't be around for the ending. That's being realistic.
Crazy, like, because like I'm thinking like if you go back, and I don't know if any of these voice actors are the same, but like it'd be interesting to know. Maybe you could tell me. But Dragon Ball, I watched Dragon Ball when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like because it was in the 80s.
Yeah, or
if not earlier, I think. And there are Dragon Ball Super. Just how long ago was that? That wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going. But like there's some voices that I'm like, are these the same voices from the 80s? And did people like pass away
Yeah.
due to old age? You know, like
There's been some
of these are going on.
like so Frieza's English voice actor, he passed away. And so but yeah, there's like those things, you know, that it just happens.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, it's sad, but
that's kind of cool that they also like kind of pay homage.
Yeah.
Because they also even think like they put a special thanks out to all the different versions and all the different people who like actually wrote and this, so they're really they're really respectful to the whole like thanks to, you know, Toonami and of course I don't think they get permission from any of them though, right? That's not they getting permission to actually do this stuff.
So the guys who created Dragon Ball Z Abridged is a group known as Team 4 Star. So Team 4 Star is a group. When it started, it was a group of 3 guys: Kaiser Neko, who's Scott Francis, Lanny Pator, who's Nick Landis, and Takahata 101, who's Curtis Arnott. Those 3 guys, they were doing other Abridged versions on YouTube way back in the day. I think, let's see, I believe Taka was doing like a G Gundam Abridged. Kaiser was doing another different show Abridged.
When we say Abridged though, are they like they're like spoofs? Or
they're like parodies. So it's like
it's all silliness. All of those are all
it's like a fan made parody redub. They're just like having fun with it. You know, making their own.
They're not doing like what would like. Well, I'm trying to think of like the fan. You know how fans will remake a thing like that's like non-canon, but it's like serious stuff. Yeah, this is just like I'm gonna take this stuff and make it.
Yeah, they're kind of like because they were fans of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, you know they love Dragon Ball Z. They love doing it, and they're doing other shows. They're like, hey, let's get together and just one day do a Dragon Ball Z. And they started with the Saiyan saga. So they started with the first episode of Dragon Ball Z where we meet Goku takes Gohan to meet Krillin and Bulma at Kame House. So it starts from there, and they go all the way till the end of the Cell saga where Gohan beats Cell.
Are they smashing these up, or are they doing one episode at a time?
It's so since Dragon Ball Z itself is so long because it has so many fillers.
Yeah.
They kind of cut and condense it. Like their episodes themselves aren't that long either. Like they're like this. They're like 15, 10 minutes. Like they're not that long. So, but they understand like there's a lot of filler, but they understand the storyline. And so when they write all their episodes, when they write their stories, how they want it to go, the flow, their characters, like the personality they give each character and stuff like that, they all kind of take parts. They take the main parts of it, kind of cut out the filler, and then just kind of smash it all together.
But they're keeping the storyline.
Yeah, they're keeping the storyline.
They're keeping it going. Okay.
So so you follow the storyline.
They're not making stuff up. They're okay.
Like there's some stuff like. So there's a story. So Yajirobe and Korin, who's the cat. Okay. And Yajirobe, the big guy with the sword.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a funny. Just a subplot.
Okay. That they just make up.
They made for them.
Okay.
And when you watch it, you'll see it's hilarious.
Okay. Don't get into it. I can imagine what they're gonna do. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it, but
the fans know what I'm talking about.
I can imagine. I don't imagine too much, but I can imagine.
But yeah, these guys, they just got together and they were like, hey, let's do this thing. Having fun, you know, they're fans of it. They want to do stuff they make.
Are these guys?
It just took off.
Are they animating it and like doing the voices and all that
they're
stuff?
all
or are
like,
they just writers?
They themselves, they write it, they do the voices, they'll do like some animations. Like Kaiser does like a lot of the editing, a lot of the music and stuff like that. Wow. They're all writers. They all like write scripts and stuff like that. They get together to figure out, hey, how are we gonna write this? What jokes we're gonna make?
Dude, that is wild.
But then they have like other like people who dub like who come in and do the voices for like Goku, Gohan.
Okay.
Like they get other people like, hey, can you come on with us? They'll ask people. They've actually got some people that have actually gone on to do like actual voice acting. Like,
okay, so I mean, it does this become? Because I was about to say, it seems pretty big and some semi legit, and you're telling me, these guys are going on to do other things. Yeah. Is it like? I guess it must be well received. because it's in English though, right? That they're not.
Yeah, it's in English.
I mean, so it's good enough, but it's not like the Japanese or like anybody else's besides America loving it, right? Like,
those are the people that love it.
You think so? Like,
yeah, because they've gone to like conventions and stuff.
Okay.
Like, for their stuff, like for this parody.
So I mean, this thing has 2 million views, 10 million, 10 million views. It said 5 years ago. So are they still doing this stuff?
So they ended Cell Saga, and it was kind of up in the air about
how long ago was this?
Cell Saga came out.
Like, I mean, because this thing said that this episode was 5 years old. And I go, I think I remember seeing like Dragon Ball Abridged, like I was saying earlier. I saw some stuff before, and I was like, I don't know if this was Abridged or if this was just somebody being funny. And they just kind of did their own thing. I couldn't tell, but this looks like, I mean.
So it's about 60 episodes.
Okay. But
it was 5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So Cell Saga ended 5 years ago. And they're up in the air about doing Boo Saga.
Mm-hmm. So 2018.
About 2018, yeah, around there.
Okay, not too long ago.
But ultimately, just because of some stuff that was going on with copyright stuff, because there's certain rules you have to follow when you do a parody, when you do an abridged, especially on YouTube. There's so many guidelines you got to follow. Like, there's certain things you can and can't do.
Yeah, and I'm betting their stuff would get flagged or
So it was a lot of
reported.
that. And then, so when it came to Boo Saga, they ultimately decided not to, just for the sake of their livelihood, for the employees they had at the time, to like make sure they still had income coming in order to keep all that from like disappearing. They decided to like, they made it was a tough decision for them to make, but they made it. But they did recently come out with what's called Boo Bits. So they did like little pieces, hits in there, because there's another YouTuber, Mark, I think. I can't recall that time, but he asked him like, hey, can you do some stuff for me? Just like little segments here and there. And so you actually it's on their YouTube channel. It's called Boo Bits. And so they took like bits and pieces of the Boo Saga and kind of dubbed over, voice stuff like that. But they do have other original stuff like that they actually made.
They themselves, those guys. Oh, okay. So they have their own stuff after the fact, or is it before?
It was kind of during. So
during,
like,
okay.
Because they also did like Hellsing. Like, there's an anime called Hellsing. They did an abridged version of that. But they also have some called like Fistmaster. That was a series that they themselves created.
But like, it's not living on YouTube. It like lives on Crunchyroll. Okay.
Yeah,
but they don't have any. Do they have their own stuff like that's out there that's other than YouTube? Because
I think it's all like YouTube, Patreon, and stuff.
This is. I mean, once again, we talk about how old I am, children. Okay, let's get it. Now that you're looking at me face to face, you see me with my orthopedic shoes on. I've got my back pillow. I don't know how YouTube works. Okay, I thought they dropped one episode of YouTube a day. It's on the front page of my YouTube app on my phone.
It's always there.
It's just they got a new YouTube video to watch. I mean, do you think they were big enough? Like, is this what they do? Like, these guys, it's just like, it's not just a hobby. You were like, they had employees.
Yeah.
They're getting paid for the views, do you think? Or are they getting sponsorships?
Yeah, it's like pays. They're getting sponsorships. They themselves, so they actually have their own website where they sell their own like merchandise and stuff.
Okay.
And so they got like, it's all that when you create a YouTube channel and you're a YouTuber, you have all this stuff like
on top of
so you have what you get from YouTube. You have the agreement with them for your views, how much money you will make from that and stuff.
I mean, they got 10 million
for their
views
platform,
on this Christmas
but
special.
Then you also have like your sponsors, like, hey, this episode is sponsored by HelloFresh, and you can use this promo code to get your subscription, whatever, and then whoever uses that promo code, they get like a cut. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they also have their own website where you could go to it has links to their YouTube, to their Twitch, to their Patreon, and to their store.
So they were probably really doing expending all of that kind of stuff to try to get. I mean, obviously
because it takes a lot of time.
I mean, if they're gonna have,
because they couldn't keep a typical 9 to 5
and do
with
this.
the quality going up of what they've done.
Yeah. I mean, if they're gonna get other voice recorders and stuff like that in there and stuff, where are these guys at? You have any idea?
Are
they based somewhere?
In Canada. or I think
Are they
he
doing this
still
all
lives in
remotely?
Canada. And the other two guys, I think, live in Texas.
What?
Yeah.
Joe Angel. Okay, so I don't want to say this out loud because you're gonna be disappointed, but I was at a Comic-Con of sorts just recently, and I thought to myself, I should like interview somebody at this Comic-Con because there were some voice actors there, and I'm like, man, that would be great to have some interviews on these guys. I think the guy who voiced the American Goku was there, or somebody, and I was like, I should talk to this guy. But we should track these guys down, man. I just want to be a voice on one of their shows, like one of the Hey, I could do. I could do this. I can't do Goku's voice. When he starts talking, I didn't write anything down. All I wrote down was I don't know what he says. He said something near the end, and I go, Goku's voice. What the heck?
And that's like one of the conversations they themselves had. Like, hey, so how are we gonna get this voice?
It is because I remember listening to it in the dub, in the sub, and they're both very different.
Yeah.
In the sub, his voice is high.
Yeah.
Is he voiced by a girl?
Yeah. Goku's voice actor is a female.
Okay, but in the sub.
Yeah.
But in dub though.
Dub is a guy.
It's a guy.
Yeah, it's a guy.
So like you go back and forth, and I'm like, and growing up, like I watched it on, I forget, I guess maybe Cartoon Network or something, and you're watching it in dub. And then whenever it's quite the departure.
It is.
Like
it seems so different.
Like very different. Like it seems like now they kind of try to be close. Like if you're watching a show, and this is my favorite anime, and you watch it in sub or dub, they get the voices semi-close. Yeah. These aren't even close. And so like it sounds like this abridged version is somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Right? Like
but it's good, but what I like about it, because for how they wrote the characters to be, the voices match.
They do.
They like match so well with what the story and the voice is.
I really think so.
But
all right, you got some more facts for me. Drop some facts.
So we went over Team 4-Star, went over those guys who created, and the story, the movie we watched, Plan to Eradicate Christmas, is based off the Dragon Ball Z movie, Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans.
Okay.
So that was the non-canon actual movie.
Okay.
So two things, two versions. The original version, which came out in 1993. And then a remake, newer version, which came out in 2010, which is the one that they used.
Wait, 93?
93.
In 2010.
In 2010 was the remake, which is what the Team 4-Star used.
They took it off.
Yeah. And there are key differences about those two as well.
From 93
to 2010. Okay. Because in the 93 version, the minions were just random monsters. It was still the same guy, still the same idea, but the minions were just random monsters.
They're not. It's not Cooler.
Yeah, it's not Cooler, Frieza. Or Lord
they
Slug,
brought
Turles.
Back
when they did the remake. Then they brought back
because they probably didn't have. They didn't have Cooler back then. You don't think?
They didn't have Cooler.
They didn't have
Frieza,
Dark Goku.
Yeah, that. And so the remake reintroduced those characters, but the main idea of the story stayed the same, which was, so the doctor was Dr. Leech, who was he was actually the planet that the Saiyans lived on, belonged to the doctor's people. So when the Saiyans landed, so in the 93 version, the story was Saiyans crash land on that planet. They were coexisting, but then one day, King Vegeta, who's Vegeta's dad, led a rebellion to take over the planet and killed everybody except the doctor. And so the doctor, the first version, the old guy floating, was actually a ghost version, which was
like in the abridged.
Like in the abridged.
Okay.
And then the super upped version was just
Super Santa.
Super Santa.
He went Super Santa.
And so, but in the 2010, they did it to where the Saiyans just crash landed and took over automatically.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of a switch there from that. Also, where the planet was located in the 93 version, it was called the Dark Planet, was located at the edge of the universe. Whereas the 2010 remake, He was right there.
He's like right there.
He's right there.
He's a moon.
Yeah, he's a moon.
He's disrupting the waves, bro. Okay? We can only have one.
There's so many tsunamis going on right now.
The gravitational pull. Everybody knows the moon has to be a perfect distance away, and you can't have another moon. Okay, it's gonna ruin everything. Yeah. What are those little orbs? He's kind of like floating there above those orbs.
So it's actually called like deuteron gas. It's just like a negative like gas to
negative
take
energy.
Out the negative energy to take out.
Naughty
energy.
Concentrated naughtiness. Energy. What do you think they get this concentrated naughtiness? I mean, the DMV probably.
DMV, yeah.
Oh,
DMV. There's so much there.
There's so much there. There's so much there. Traffic, maybe.
Yeah.
There's so much.
They wait till 5 o'clock when the traffic's heavy.
It just collects some concentrated naughtiness.
But yeah, so those are slight changes there. The plan to eradicate the Saiyans. So his whole purpose for being there was to get revenge on the Saiyans. That was his main reason for being there in the movie.
You know, quick question. This is a little aside. My mind is just kind of racing a little bit because I'm hopped up on sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
It's too much, Joe Angel. I'm
especially the kind you're drinking right now.
I look calm in front of you, but underneath this is a whirlwind of. How come Dragon Ball Z isn't considered Big 3?
Because the Big 3 came out during the time, it was coined during the time of Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, when they were all in the hype.
Like later on.
Right? When the actual term Big 3 came out.
Okay.
Was when those 3 were the biggest in the shonen world.
Okay.
Now, there is things where people talk about the old Big 3, which would include Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the actual term Big 3 goes, that only popped out whenever Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach were in their prime.
Okay. Yeah, later on, whenever people could like get together on the internet and say things.
Yeah, whenever the internet came out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
post-internet.
Okay.
Everybody had the AOL disk.
Yeah. Whatever.
This is when you got the internet emailed.
Yeah, give me your
mail to your house.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the internet.
Physical email. Yeah. Physical emails. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That makes so much sense. I was just kind of sitting there thinking like, gosh, dude, the whole Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball world is so big and has been around so long. I mean, it's part of my life and a lot of other people who don't even, I mean, if you even grew up and didn't watch or know any kind of anime, you don't know anything about anything, you know what Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. You know what it is. Like you just
had a prime time slot on Cartoon Network and it was right after school.
I mean, George of the Jungle and then Dragon Ball Z. Classic.
So another interesting fact about the plan to eradicate Saiyans, the original, the only reason they made the anime, or one of the main reasons they made the anime, because it was based off a card game. It was based off
this is a cartoon, a toy commercial?
A computer-based card battle game.
Called
give me the
Pokemon. It's Pokemon. This is oh my gosh, this is where it all stemmed from.
So it was based, so there's a card game that was developed,
it's ahead of its time,
by Bandai.
Mm-hmm.
It was published on Bandai Family Computer in April 6th of 1993.
Those Bandai guys.
So whenever the card came out, this kind of came out as like a strategy guide.
I mean,
because the main reason there's only Piccolo, Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku is because those were the characters you could pick in the game.
Whoa.
That's why there wasn't really anybody else like Krillin, Yamcha, Tien.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't there because of that fact. Chaozu. Don't forget they weren't there because the only players you could play in the game were those
characters,
and that's why they were mainly the main ones in.
Did you say 93?
93.
I'm trying to think.
I was 1 year old.
Yeah. And then some of our listeners weren't even born yet. I mean, y'all don't know about 93. Like, I'm trying to think about it. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but like back in the day, like movie producers and executives were making movies not just to like make a good movie and have a box. They were making them to make sell toys. To sell toys. Like, I mean, if you watch the old school, like Batman Forever, I think is Batman Forever. Like you wanted a Mr. Freeze, and you wanted like like a Bane or something like that. And you just wanted the little action figures, and
Transformers.
It was just
G.I. Joes.
Yeah, dude, that was all 90s.
All those cartoon shows were to sell toys.
They figured it out. They figured it out back in the 90s. They were like, hey, let's not just make a movie. Let's make a commercial.
Something we can sell.
This is just a commercial. I mean, I want to put a toy inside that McDonald's Happy Meal, and you go up to the front, and you're gonna get you a little jar with a little picture on there with a little character on it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna. This is just a freaking commercial.
A commercial for your game. Or a strategy guide.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I didn't even. Yeah, now that you say that, I didn't even realize how many characters were missing. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else is Chelsea, Yamcha,
Master Roshi.
What's the is it Mr. Satan?
Hercule.
What's his real name? Oh, not his. Is that his last name? No.
So there's a. They talk about so Team 4-Star actually has.
They make a joke on this.
They actually have commentary.
Oh.
Commentary episodes where they go through and talk about each episode. Go through, talk about the movies, talk about how they started, what they did to write it, like what they changed, what they added, music, dialogue, stuff like that. And they actually talked about Mr. Satan, his name.
Yeah, it's not. Is it something lost in translation? Do you know?
I think it's the fact, because I think in the Japanese it means like the name they use or whatever, it means like devil or something. So I think when they were dubbing it was a thing where it was a title. So it's a title that he was given. Mr. Satan's a title from his actual name, I think.
I gotta go back and see this. I gotta see. I'm gonna go back and watch this for Team 4-Star. Team
4-Star.
Team 4-Star. I gotta go watch it because there's also another character, and you probably know this, Deborah. If you spell that out, Joey Joel. I don't remember what the saga is.
It'll be on the boobits.
It's Deborah
boobits.
Did they talk about it? You don't want to spoil it. Deborah. If you spell that out, that spells Deborah, bro. Yeah. What a villain! Before there was Karen. You know what? Deborah walked so that Karen could fly. Deborah. Deborah is such a hilarious name. I was like, there's got to be something lost in translation. There's no way that this dude who's got spikes for shoulders, his name is Deborah. There's got to be some sort of like, Deborah in Japanese is far more sinister. Because I'm like, nah, that's Deborah. I'm just picturing.
I know who Deborah is.
I know who Deborah. It's Everybody Loves Raymond's. Yeah. Deborah. Oh my gosh, hilarious. Dude, this show is freaking ridiculous. It makes me want to go back and watch the abridged stuff. Like,
yeah, I tell you, it's so good. And there's other animes that have abridged versions. There's something. I mean, there's a group called Something Witty. They do SAO, which is Sword Art Online. Mm-hmm. There's guys that do Attack on Titan. But there's like,
were these guys the first, you think, or
no? Because I think at the time, because when they started DBZ, they themselves were doing other.
Oh, okay, so they had their abridged versions of earlier.
So there's
stuff.
So many like other abridged versions. It's just they're like one of the big ones.
The big ones.
Yeah.
They're big three.
They're big three.
Literally, there's three of them.
Literally three of them.
They should be called Big Three.
Big Three.
Team 4-Star. What does Team 4-Star stand? I mean, I guess maybe they're 4 stars, like they're really good. We'll look that up later. I don't know.
Could just be because 4-Star Dragon Ball is pretty prominent in Dragon Ball history itself. Because the 4-Star balls was the Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Was the first when we all get introduced in Dragon Ball to Goku. He has the 4-Star ball because that was the ball his grandpa had.
Holy Joe Angel, you did it. You know everything, Joe Angel. And that's what I like about you. Also, you know what else I like about you? I don't know. You can't tell in our voices, but me and Joe Angel are over here sweating in our
Christmas sweater.
Christmas sweaters
for you guys.
For you, you can't even see us, and we're in Christmas sweaters.
In a small room.
In Texas, bro. In Texas, it's like, I don't know, 70 degrees outside.
70 degrees right now. Man.
It's a Texas Christmas, and we are sweating in sweaters just to get us in the holiday.
In the holiday spirit.
Doing a Christmas special for you guys, for our Animaniacs.
Animaniacs.
That's what they call themselves.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get into that guac talk.
Let's get in that guac talk. Oh, you know what? I'm missing my guacs, man. I decided we're sitting here watching this together, and I want to be able to hear it, and I wanted you to be able to hear it. Like, and so if I was eating my guacamole talkies, you'd be like, "Hey, could you turn that down a bit?
Can you mute that?
Can you mute your crunchiness?" Guac talk. Dude, you don't even have to ask me how many Dragon Balls am I?
Are you collecting all 7? Are you using all 3 wishes?
I'm using all 3. I wish I could go back and watch the abridged version. I wish that I could know everything that they know. I wish I would have kept up with all the Dragon Ball stuff. GT even, like, it looks pretty good. I watch all the movies and everything. I'm giving it all. Like, it is all 7 Dragon Balls. It's hilarious. It's silly. I mean, I don't know like what the rest of it looks like. If it's like, this Christmas special, as we looked on YouTube and I started scrolling through, we were trying to like find this episode. I see tons of other stuff that I'm like, a lot of other stuff. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's just silliness. It's real, and that's right up my alley. Yeah. I love me some silliness, And
it's cool because these aren't guys just looking to make it quick, but these are guys who are actually fans of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and you can
like
tell.
This is something like they love and that they are fans of.
Yeah, they're not like, they're poking fun at it, but lovingly. Yeah. And you can tell. You can tell in their disclaimer at the beginning. You could tell even like giving the little shout out at the end for Hiromi Suda. Yeah. Like, you could tell that they care about this show a lot. And because of that, it comes through in the show. It comes through in their like the production value, the everything. So because of that, and because it's pretty entertaining, I'm a highly recommended. And gosh dang it, was only 17 minutes.
It's only 17 minutes.
Joe. Come on. And I don't pay for premium YouTube. Okay, once again, they're not gonna get me, Joe Angel. Okay, I'm not paying. I'm gonna find it somewhere.
I'm gonna get it somehow.
I'm gonna sit there through 30 minutes of commercials so that I could. But I don't pay for it, and I think there was one or two commercials.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, not bad. I can do that. I'm gonna go backwards on everything. Netflix with commercials, Hulu with commercials.
Going back to how we used to do it.
Back in the good old days. Real quick, YouTube used to have, I don't know, not YouTube Red. Maybe it was called YouTube Red. It was something. It was YouTube Red. It was like a premium YouTube. Yeah. But now you can't and it was only like $5 or something like that. I wish they would have kept that. You hear YouTube? Can you, excuse me, AI YouTube?
Hear this algorithm.
Mr. Algorithm, bring back that YouTube where I could just pay $5 and then just get rid of the commercials. Yeah, that's a brilliant move. Come on, dude. I want to watch my abridged DBZA
flawlessly.
Yeah, no commercials. I want to go back to back, son. A good 40 hours. That's my new full-time job.
Full-time just watching this.
Quitting. If they can make a living making the show, I can make a living watching the show.
All right, guys. Well, there you got our guac talk. Once again, Merry Christmas to those of you here. We wish you have a happy, safe holidays, friends, families, and have a bunch of good laughs. Hope you got some good toys, good presents, good anime, and we are excited to finish out this year with our New Year's Eve episode. Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad to this year, guys. We're gonna go out with the good one.
Yeah.
All right, and as always, follow us on Instagram and TikTok where you can see clips of our upcoming episodes. Be on the lookout for stuff, and also drop a comment. Let us know what you want to watch. If there's any anime you're anticipating for the coming year, let us know so we can get next year started on a good foot. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you later.
Peace. Woo! Got a little warm there, Joe.